How have you applied tools and models to understand religion and its role in your life?
Well, religion is a construct like anything else. We're trying to understand the cosmos and our relationship to it, and this question of a God, whether it's a person, it's a being, it's a not a being, and does he exist, not. And religions come out of, again, they have a history. They come out of one person's journey, usually, who went on an inner journey. That person went to the desert. They left the castle. Gautama Siddhartha went to the forest to go on an inner journey. Jesus went on a journey to, and from that inner journey, what then happens is that, people then go, wow, this person seems to have really figured something out. And over time, they then attribute more and more qualities to that person. As far as I can tell, most of these spiritual teachers were just that, spiritual teachers. They never made larger claims. And those claims were, hey, this is spiritual journey. This is inner enlightenment that one can have, that you can understand the universe. And you have to go and make that trip. You got to go, just like you make an external trip in the world, you got to make this internal trip. But what's hard is, so how do you translate that? Usually it takes these, just like any person that's done any great work, it takes them a long time to get there. And then people go, but teach us how to do it. Then the founder goes, well, let's see, what did I do? Well, I guess I sat there and I thought a lot. Okay, well, why don't you do that? You meditate, So they come up with practices to teach people how to begin to make that journey. But really, that's not the journey. That's just a tool to help you, go through this journey. You don't have to use the tool. You can use any tool to really go that inner journey. So one of the challenges is to separate religious institutions, religions like the church or from, which is a human-based construct, which has its own incentive to forward its agenda and survive in the world, as an entity, and its core teachings. The church, the modern Christianity was formed in around 300 AD, when Constantine decided that he was going to make Christianity the official religion. And he convened a council, and they decided all these issues. Was Jesus God or man? Was Mary virgin? How do these things happen? And they voted. And there were people that violently disagreed with, vehemently disagreed, maybe not violently, with these particular conclusions that were being drawn about what happened 300 years before. So there's history, right? When you start to see that you're dealing now in 2010 with, when you encounter something, you're dealing with its history, this amalgamation of all the things that have happened to it. But if you keep going, at the core are some really profound ideas. The things that I've personally discovered for myself is that within the teachings of Jesus, within the teachings of Buddha, within the teachings of Lao Tzu, within the teachings of all of these spiritual, the Hindu thinkers, there's actually the same core truth. There's the same thing that they keep saying. They might describe it differently. They might have different ways of trying to get you to see that, but they're all saying kind of the same thing. So that to me is very interesting, right? Now, how the packaging happens, the differentiation in the marketplace of religions, that's where the differentiation happens. And, oh, we do it this way, and we have a church, we have a mosque, we have this. And then the fights all start out. The fights break out because we're going after the customers, we're going after the followers. So I think you've got to sort of separate all those pieces out and get to what really the core is, and realize we're all gonna come up with different means of expressing the answer.
What is that core? What is that central theme that is universal across religions?
The simplest way to say it is the idea of non-duality, that all is one. All comes from the same source. All goes back to the same source. All is the same source. And the separateness that we feel is also true. Now, so the separateness is the reality that we kind of exist on. There's me, there's you, but the core idea of the unity of all things is at the heart of it. I love the yin yang, as a symbol. I think this yin yang symbolically, visually represents the truth that a lot of these other thinkers did come, which is this time. If I look at it as a time signature, you see that I'm journeying through these opposites. I'm journeying over time through pairs of opposites, and then maybe resolving them into the integration. But the circle is the truth, the core.